Hello YouTube, Time Itself here playing some Domination on launch. I don't normally set limitations for myself, any artificial ones. I just play the game, choose a class, and try to make it work. But in this game I'm going to do a little something differently, and I'm going to try to enforce a limitation on myself here and see what I can do with that restriction. And that is, I am only going to hip fire. As you can see, the class I've got is a Spectre with Scavenger Pro, Extended Mags, Sleight of Hand Pro, and Marathon. And because I'm doing this, anytime I can move forward and be aggressive, like right here, instead of taking B, just charge forward and try to get closer, try to get in range to hip fire people. And not really surprisingly, I catch the first several people kind of off guard. They're not expecting anyone back this far this early, so this might have been a hard fight, but he was in the middle of throwing a grenade, so easy kill for me. One of the people I play with regularly, Shore, he's not actually in this game, but he kind of inspired me to try this. As I've been seeing him run around and then only hip fire an MPL. I think he was dual mags with that, but he was getting some pretty impressive games with it, and so I figured, I'm going to try that myself, see what I can do. But the class I chose for myself is the Spectre, the default magazine size of 30 instead of 20 like a lot of the submachine guns, and so with extended mags that's 45, and I can hip fire that for quite a while without running out of ammo. And then instead of Steady Aim Pro, I've got Sleight of Hand Pro, lets me reload faster. There's some benefit to using steady aim, but it's the pro version that really helps you out more than anything else. The submachine gun spread is already pretty tight, and without the additional sensitivity from aiming down sights, just being on target is a little bit tricky. Honestly, using the master key, that was the hardest thing about it. It is a one-hit kill pretty reliably, but hip firing that thing and getting that shot on target is a bit of a challenge. So Sleight of Hand Pro, letting you fire sooner after sprinting, that's a real benefit when trying to do this sort of thing. But as long as I don't get caught sprinting around a corner, that part of the pro perk I don't really need. So the thing about hip fire in Call of Duty games and in a lot of first-person shooters is that without shouldering the gun, you still remain mobile and you can keep strafing as you shoot. And at that point, strafing becomes a good tactic. So here we go, stun the guy, strafe around the corner, nothing he's going to be able to do. It's the same idea, but it's pretty much the complete opposite of drop shotting. Instead of dropping to the ground to lower your profile, you step out of the way. But it does make it harder to aim when strafing, the same with drop shotting, and that's again where the ridiculously large for an SMG 45 round magazine comes in handy. Now strafing does make it harder to aim. It's usually not something you use to get in line with the target at that point like you might try to do at range to make minor adjustments. Instead you're trying to get around someone, and so it's going to be a little bit harder to aim, and so that's where the extra magazine size comes in handy. The other thing about the Spectre is that the iron sights, while not bad, can be a little bit annoying because of those large leaves that go up on the left and the right. And you've got the center post there, that's all you really need. But then the sides, you can lose people in the left and right, and so this makes sense to hip fire this gun. And I've got the money to put gold camo on this, but I just didn't feel like it. I've got gold on so many guns now, it's not really important to me. So instead I went with the failsafe red. Is there a gun this doesn't look good on? I mean, the nice red lacquer. The ice, it does turn the gun blue, but it just doesn't have the same effect. So I've got a nice kill streak going, rocking along here. It would be nice to die under another Blackbird, but then, yeah, I'm my own worst enemy apparently. That's what gets me killed here, stunning myself. One other thing that surprised me about this game was that I didn't get knifed. Nobody shanked me as I came around the corner. Instead, I got to shoot at him with my submachine gun here. And normally when I'm running around trying to get really close fights, where I would want to hip fire people, I get knifed, because the knife plunge is long enough in this game that can happen. So I don't know if I just got really, really lucky, or if these guys weren't thinking about knifing, or what, but for some reason that didn't happen this game. Oh, and here goes the launch. I almost feel like sometimes I should just, hey guys, can we just take a break for a minute while the rocket goes off so I don't have to try to play while everything's shaking? Just a short little holiday, take a breather, get a drink of water, Anyway, back to this hip firing thing. Get used to games where if you could put your sights on a guy, that would always be preferable to just hip firing at him, especially at any kind of range. And while the strafing does come in handy, there are enough times when, for some reason or another, just hip firing seems more effective. It's really odd to me, but I don't know, it just seems to work out like that. My guess is that this has something to do with the bullet flinch, that when you're aiming down sights, it has more of an effect. And I've done some tests, and I really can't tell. It's very hard to figure out, especially quantify what's going on, because you're looking at maybe one test, one bullet goes out of the way, and maybe the next one 2 or 3, and telling the difference between the random hipfire spread and the bullet flinch effect is kind of hard. But the real question is that preferable to aiming down sights? And maybe, I don't know. This is something that just does not make sense to me for some reason. And despite my testing, I really haven't been able to come to any kind of a conclusion. Obviously, there are situations in this game, like right here, where I definitely would be better off aiming down my sights. But anytime I get into a gunfight where I'm being shot at, and even if the guy's behind cover, hipfire seems to be a reasonable way to go. It doesn't make sense to me, but that seems to be the way the game plays out. So I do this right. I come around here, get around the corner, stun, bounce it off the wall, hipfire, start to strafe, and I guess he just gets really lucky. Because, oh my gosh, there's just nothing you can do about that. So after that silly death, we got a chopper down in there doing work, and they're spawning randomly, and I get a little too fixated on this guy, and I get myself killed again. There's no reason for that except for just the crazy spawns, but I was not paying attention to the blackbird, and that's what happens. Well, we're about to wrap things up here. I hope you enjoyed the game, despite the playstyle being a little bit different than what you might be used to from me. I certainly enjoyed playing this, although it's easy to have a good time when you're playing silly and still doing quite well. Now, if only I could make the akimbo weapons work out as well as this does for me, I'd be set. That just doesn't work for me for some reason. I don't know what it is. One more little spray to end the game. Don't aim down sights. I thought about it there, but no, I knew what I'm doing. Alright, thanks again guys, and I will catch you later. Oh, well this is a funny final kill cam actually. I think Grunt Beetle gets the final kill actually. This guy just puts him in a second chance. He actually got killed from the pistol. Nice.